Reba Robinson lay awake night after night in her little room in Starkville, Mississippi. Her imagination raced out of control as her fingers clung to an old T-shirt that had once belonged to her son. He was confronting death in some exotic locale, though she didn't know where or what for. Dylan was a Marine assigned to a covert commando unit. Even his mother could not be told the time or the location of his missions. But her mother's instincts told her when he was in harm's way, and during those times she fervently prayed for Dylan. She was undoubtedly praying for him the night he swam 10 miles from a submarine to the coast of a hostile country. She was praying the night he parachuted behind enemy lines. She was praying the night a terrorist stuck a gun in his face and pulled the trigger. Perhaps it was her prayers that caused the gun to jam, giving Dylan a split second to escape. When Dylan finally returned home, he was a hero whose bravery could never be explained, declassified, or honored. He tried making the transition from action hero to typical guy, but life slowed to a snail's pace in his little hometown. He began frequenting the local bars, trying not to remember what he couldn't forget. Reba prayed on. Like Reba, we sometimes too go through prolonged periods of pain or pressure, trapped by circumstances, hurting, afraid, facing impossible odds. But the preacher John R. Rice once said, "Worry is putting question marks where God has put periods." For some of us, worry seems as inherent as breathing. Fear does not release its tenacious grip on us easily. How can you not worry, after all, when you have a commando son in deadly situations around the globe? How can you not worry when the Red Sea faces you, the desert surrounds you, and the soldiers of Egypt are speeding toward you with drawn swords? Just ask Reba Robinson. When, amid her anxiety, she accepted that God had placed her in that situation, she began converting her worries into prayers and her fears into faith. She earnestly prayed for her son, trusting God to intervene and to heal. At a critical juncture in Dylan's life, a friend invited him to a revival meeting at a nearby church. He went grudgingly, but the message struck home, and when the altar call was given, Dylan staggered to the altar in tears. That night, an unsung hero fell to his knees and received Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. No terrorist had ever pursued him like the hound of heaven, and no mother could have been more thankful. Through it all, Reba had learned something we often forget. No matter where we are or what we're going through, the Lord has placed us there for a reason, and He will use it for our good. In Him we can find comfort and hope and even peace.
It is certain that we will face difficulties and that God will allow them. Moses and the Israelites found themselves caught between the devil and the deep Red Sea. So are we sometimes overwhelmed by life's problems. But God delivered the Israelites, and He will deliver us too.
I was facing some difficulties, opened up my Bible, found Exodus chapter 14, and saw some principles there about dealing with difficulties that I'd never seen before.
In the Red Sea Rules, author Robert J. Morgan offers 10 sound strategies for moving from fear to faith, revealing how even in the midst of seemingly impossible situations, God has promised to make a way for us.
The same Lord who led them in, led them out.
We would like to send you a copy of this book as a thank you for your ministry support. Please write to us, order online at crossroads.ca, or call 1-800-265-3100.